MNC workers are exploited. They are the closest thing to a white collar slave there is. Okay, the next thing we're talking about is we're reacting to Wimo. We don't really have, or rather, I don't really have an ideological issue with Wimo. This is not a critique. This is an amendment. So we're gonna watch the video. We're gonna react to it. We are gonna talk about the things that I found that this might be needed more context in this scenario. He's reacting to Sam Altman talking about how humans are basically no better than farm animals to extract lot of goods and information out of them, and how they take resources just like AI takes resources. But like, oh, whatever. I'm not gonna explain this. Let him. I'm already like
Sam
2 hours in the live stream.
Altman says that we should not criticize the high amount of power that they require to train AI because, as it turns
Again, the reason why he's saying that in the first place, Sam Altman, is because he wants to move away from the topic, because the topic is very much true and it is extremely exploitative for the environment. Multiple Western cities are protesting against not having data centers, server farms in their cities. They are protesting against it. Recently, they won a protest in what was this, in UK, if I'm not wrong. Where was the server farm protest? Hold on, why did I not bring this up again? I didn't bring it up because whatever reason. Oh Jesus, where is this protest? Oh, where is this protest? Huge win. Top data center in New Brunswick last night. Congratulations. This is what they're doing, guys. This is what they're doing. And what is India doing? What is India doing? India gives 20-year tax holiday for five firms using local data centers. This is what we are doing, and this is what everyone in the West is doing. Because everyone in the West understands that server farms are inherently bad for the community. They are inherently bad for the community. This is why Sam Altman keeps saying that, oh, you need to not talk about how much shit server farms take. We need to talk about, oh, how much like a person takes instead of a server farm.
out, human beings take even more power.
They do not.
He's talking about you, he's talking about me, he's talking about, people.
They just do not.
People
Like, that
for
is
whose
not true.
convenience, apparently, AI tools have been created. And now, all of a sudden, this slips out of his mouth at an AI summit, no less, where he says that people take energy to train and AI systems take energy to train. And therefore, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has put people and his dear AI tools, which make him a lot of profit, on the same pedestal, or rather, same lack of pedestal. If AI is a tool, then so are human beings in the eyes of Sam Altman. It's a horrid, horrid message, isn't it? It's a horrible thing to say, especially because you're a human being yourself, Sam Altman, and he's talking to an audience composed mostly of human beings. एक दो Chinese कुत्ते भी थे वहाँ पे, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. We are going to address something deeper. Sam Altman told a crowd of people that we should not criticize AI companies for using a power to train AI because people also take energy to train. And there was not one member of the audience there who, I mean, maybe there were people thinking this, but from what I could tell,
They
people were
were not.
laughing and
I can
applauding.
assure you they were not, because it's such a outlandish claim. And the reason why he's doing this is to get permissibility, for exploitation by the server farms in regions of India where the server farms are meant to be built. People are already suffering from uh, exploitation through mining, exploitation through bad regulation. And now they want people to suffer even more from server farm. And that exploitation needs to be ignored by the entire world. That is what they're aiming for.
as if this was a great big philosophical insight. Because what Sam Altman was saying is that humans are tools. And this is not surprising, nor should it appear surprising to anyone, because Sam Altman, at the end of the day, is a capitalist, he's a businessman, he's an industrialist, and he is going to look at people as tools. And who are the people who find this comparison at least applause worthy?
The top five bracket, top 0.1%, again, capitalists. That's why you should not be capitalists.
Also, people of industry. It was an AI summit after all. You and I were only as going there and getting disappointed, by the way. You and I were only going there to look at fancy gadgets. They were going there with a very different intention. They were going there to find tools, to find ways of becoming more productive, as in making their businesses more productive.
Profitable. I wouldn't say it's productive because there has been an internal calculation that is going on between a lot of these corporations on how much you can make a service suck, that people are going to stop using that service. Because again, using AI for any service is going to make it suck at the end of the day, because it just does not have the capacity to do that good of a work and stop hallucinating. So they are trying to balance the scales, like how much we can fire people so that we can use AI in place, so we make more profits on one end, but also don't lose on the profits that from customer dissatisfaction. This is what has happened every single time with capitalism.
And what makes their business more productive? Your body. And it is your body, your
Hence
hand.
worker rights. Hence you need to talk about more socialism, not like Wimo, but generally people listening talk more about socialism than capitalism. People who think capitalism is good for them, unless you're in the top 1%, it is not.
Hands, your brain, your legs, your ability to do work and create value is what is described as productivity. They think of human beings as productivity units. This is
They don't even think of them as human beings or productivity units. They think of him as liability. Within human resources, especially with capitalism, any person that is employed is a liability for the company. So firing that person removes that liability. That is what we are going towards. This is why Amazon makes so many strides in AI, trying to create so many automations, quote and quote, so they can remove the liability, which is you.
not surprising. What is tragic, however, is that you and I also think of human beings as productivity units.
I wouldn't say people think of them as productivity units. People are made to think of them as productivity units. Capitalism doesn't work without PR. It just doesn't. It is feudalism with better PR. That PR, that learning that you were told to do, to be like, oh, we need these companies, we need that companies, you need to be this much productive, your value should always be monetary, it goes into the line of thinking that you are a product.
The point of view with which an industrialist looks at a human being and sees a pair of hands, a pair of legs, and the ability to perform labor is also the point of view that somehow you and I have acquired all.
Constant propaganda towards this end. This is how it happens. It's not inherent to people to think of themselves as just products. Whenever we go for a job interview, the first information that we are given, such first motivation or first advice we are given is like, tell yourself like you're a product.
Also, we see ourselves as productivity units. It's a cultural malaise. It's a
I
culture.
wouldn't even call it productivity units. There's nothing productive about a person as such. A person is a person. That's it. They are not productivity units. They give their services for a fee, which more and more they have been compensated less and less. The average um, cost of living has only gone up while the average salary has gone down.
Natural disease whereby you and I, human beings with hearts and minds and the ability to experience joy and sadness, we have started seeing ourselves as tools. Recently, there was this
The direct reason is just propaganda.
hustler who said that if she is an author and she writes 200 books a year and you write maybe one book in every 6 months, then who wins the race?
Yeah, sure.
To her, it was a race. Why was it a race? Because she also was describing herself and everyone who she was talking to as productivity units.
I wouldn't say this is a very good
Joy and
example.
sadness were not part of the equation at all. It was only and only about how much you can produce, how much work you can do. If you have heard book reading discourse, where people think that fiction is a waste of time and non-fiction is better because it makes you productive, it's this problem only in a different manifestation, where reading should only make you better at being productive. If reading is for the sake of joy or pleasure, then it is a waste of time. You hear that? You're a human being. The things that make you human are a waste. And the things that make you
That's what capitalism is, though. Capitalism is the exploitation of the most vulnerable communities for profit extraction. In every single scenario, you are still the most vulnerable. You are the serfs. I don't really agree with like general communist idea at this point where they think only workers in this scenario are the serfs here with like proletariat is not just the workers in my opinion. It is also the IT people, especially in India. Like if you're an IT person, again, like some communists will call you pseudo burgess. I will not because you are the proletariat as well. It has just shifted towards you because again you ended up in worse situations than some of these workers. To be completely honest with you, at least they used to have Manrega schemes. You don't have those either. You get fucked over.
useful to Sam Altman are worthwhile. And you will therefore be measured with the same scale as an AI tool is measured. Now, you have the power to escape this, by the way. You can refuse to be measured with that scale. You can tell people like Sam Altman and their mindless stooges that I'm a human being and I matter more. I mean more.
They're
And I will
not gonna
not be
care.
either compared to an AI tool or
See, if you want to matter more to these fucking idiots, you have to denounce capitalism as a whole thing. MNC crowd in India are the biggest bootlickers of capital. Yes, they are. I agree with you. They are the biggest bootlickers of capitalism, but they are also the ones that need to be rallied because they are the ones that suffer the most. No, you can say all. I don't care. You can say all because more or less it feels that way. The problem is, it's like workers in America being told that they need capitalism throughout the industrial revolution. At least at that point, they were still getting social services. They were like America was socialist for a very long time. The issue that I have right now is because the issue I have with Indian communists or in Indian communist movement is that they ignore MNC workers. MNC workers are not pseudo burgess. They are not the pseudo burgers, as I like to call these people burgers. They are not pseudo burgers. What they are is the neo proletariat. They are the new form of workers in the IT department. When Marx wrote his books, when Engel wrote the books, at least whatever it may be, whoever has, like, they were written when IT was not a sector. So if we are not incorporating these sectors within the leftist socialist movement, You're ignoring a whole swath of workers who are lower than what you consider a, a worker for the communist movement or for the socialist movement, whatever. These also need to be considered because their lifestyle is as exploited by their basic slave owners than any worker there is. They are the closest thing to a white collar slave there is. I mean, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this. I don't really uh, care. I mean, it's not like you, Bliss, but like whoever is listening later. But again, MNC workers are as closest thing to a white collar slave as there is anyone else. At least a common Indian will not defend capital, but middle class will guard it like their own means of production. Yes, I agree, but middle class is not always MNCs. A common low class Indian, lower class Indian, poor Indian also works at MNCs. Like, I'm not talking about UC Stravarna MNC workers that like get extreme promotions every fucking single year and start off with a package of like 50 lakh per month. That is not one who I'm talking about. I am talking about the MNC workers that are hired in SWATs. They are not middle class. They are not middle class. They are just there to fill up ranks. They are there to be used as slaves. Those who I'm talking about. These are not burgers.
Replaced by an AI tool. As it is, the AI tools are failing to replace people. That is the good news, although that will become clear to us in, a few more years. Apparently, पूरी दुनिया में जो स्कैम सबसे पहले फैल चुके होते हैं और डिबग हो चुके होते हैं, उसके बाद वो भारत में आते हैं. The bullshit that Sam Altman and Dario Amodei spilled at the AI summit was only the same garbage that they have spilled in America and Europe for a number of months now, a couple of years now. It has stopped working there. The AI bubble is about to pop. So they bring their entire dhanda to India and hope that people here are gullible enough to fall for it. And turns out we are. Because I not only
There's a huge amount of propaganda behind this. That's why. Not because we're gullible. Like, that's how propaganda works. That's what I keep talking about.
saw BJP members singing bhajans about AI, I also saw Congress people singing bhajans about AI. But I suppose that is the times we live in right now.
No, it's not the times we live in right now. That's why we have to concur with the fact that both are liberal parties. Indian left is not left. Indian left, as we like to call it, like, oh, you're Congress, you're lefty. No, Congress is center right.
AI summit happened and it ended also somewhat disgracefully on account of the crisis of Galgutian proportions, and I'm not going to talk about it. But I do want to draw attention to the fact that there is a kind of Kool-Aid about AI spread on the internet that is being spread by hustlers and tech bros, and wider culture has also absorbed it into itself. So even though AI is part of our discourse now, I don't even see Indian liberals raise a stink, or at least uh,
Again, liberals do not give a shit about classism in the community. Indian liberals are not the left.
a bit of worry about what this means for work itself and for people themselves. There are data centers being built in India, about which the very nice Internet Freedom Foundation recently raised a voice. There are AI tools being not only made available to students, but students are being encouraged to use them through expensive advertisements online and on television. And I have spoken a lot about the downside of this, why effort matters and why everything else matters. So I will not harp on it too much. I hope that made sense. And if it didn't, I'll repeat it because why else am I here? See you next time.
See, that's what I keep talking about.